in future. Now we have been waiting for the acceptance speech by your Lordship. So please, we have been waiting for you.
மாண்புமிகு தலைமை நீதிபதி அவர்கள், வணக்கம் என்று கூறி தன்னுடைய பேச்சுரையை தொடங்கினார். அது மட்டுமல்ல, நீங்கள் கூர்ந்து கவனித்திருப்பீர்களானால் அவருக்கு தெய்வ புலவர் திருவள்ளுவரின் உருவச் சிலையும் பரிசாக அளிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. தமிழிலே பேச வேண்டும் என்ற ஆசை நிச்சயமாக இருக்கிறது. தங்கு தடையின்றி தமிழில் பேசுவது ஒரு தனி ஆற்றல் தான். 6 மாதம் கொடுத்து விடுங்கள், தலைமை அவர்கள் தமிழிலே புலமை பெற்று விடுவார். Just to translate, I will translate it for the Honorable Chief Justice. I started by saying that you began your speech with the vanakkam in Tamil. Not only that, for those who observed very keenly, they would have noticed that one of our divine poets, the only divine poet, Thiruvalluvar's statue was presented to you. So I said, it is certainly a desire to speak in Tamil. But it's our hope, and I think it will come true, that in another 3 to 4 months, tenure is very short here for onward journey, that you are certainly going to be fluent in Tamil. என்னுடைய நகைச்சுவையை பற்றி சொன்னார். You also spoke about my sense of humor. அந்த மாலை அணிவிக்கப்பட்ட பொழுது என்னுடைய மனதில் தோன்றது என்னவென்றால், மாலையை எனக்கு அணிவித்தார்களா இல்லை என்னை மாலையை அணிவித்தார்களா? I mentioned, Chief, that you mentioned about my sense of humor this afternoon. So I was only alluding to that garland and the garlanding, only wondering whether I was garlanded or the garland was, put, I was put on the garland. Honorable Chief Justice of the Madras High Court, Shri Sangapurwala, Honorable Senior Judges, Justice Viswanathan and Justice Mahadevan, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Madras, the Chairman of today's meeting, Shri Hon'ble Raj, Chairman, Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, the first lawyer and the Advocate General for Madras, Shri Shanmugasundaram, Shri Prabhakaran, Vice Chairman, Bar Council of India, Shri A.R.L. Sundaresan, Additional Solicitor General for India, Mr. Vidudalai, former Advocate General, Senior Advocate Member, Bar Council, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, Mr. P.S. Raman, former Advocate General, Senior Advocate, Chennai, Mr. Wilson, Senior Advocate, Member of Parliament, Mr. Karthikeyan, the Vice Chairman, Office bearers of the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, the Master of the Ceremony, Mr. Saravanan, other dignitaries, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய பணிவான மாலை வணக்கங்கள். A very warm good evening to all of you. At the outset, I want to sincerely thank the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry for having organized this grand felicitation function. When all of you spoke to me, Mr. Prabhakaran spoke, it was my desire that it could be called a meet and greet instead of a felicitation. But Mr. Prabhakaran overruled me. He said, that is our call. But the generous words that you spoken, my Chief Justice, the other dignitaries, I am deeply, deeply overwhelmed. I really wonder whether I deserve all of that, because it was in this premises, this very precinct, the building is different, that the journey began on 28th of October 1988. I had come from Coimbatore, taken the Blue Mountain Express, come that morning, all the forms had been filled up and submitted earlier. 28th October was the day given, and I was carrying a letter from my Coimbatore senior, Mr. K. Ramachandran, a very distinguished criminal lawyer, to whom I owe a lot for shaping the initial years, because every day through the 5 years of the law college and a little thereafter before I went to Delhi, he permitted me to attend his chamber, and though there was no contribution, now brief was read, you only sit around and maybe some research was done. He had given a letter to the doyen of the Madras Criminal Court, the N.T. Hon'ble, and the request was, the bearer of the letter is so-and-so, is known to me, please move his enrollment, because the practice was that the senior lawyer moves the enrollment, it's followed by an oath ceremony. The enrollment itself was fixed at around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I reached Mr. Vanamamale's chamber as per his request at 2:30 in the afternoon. He was sitting with a huge typeset of papers, which I now know must be a very heavy criminal appeal. He saw the letter and he said, all right, but my matter is reaching. Can I send Gopinath? Is what he asked me. Gopi Anupata? At 22 and a half, tact is not your forte. So I said, the letter says you should come. So Mr. Vanamale said, if you say so, then it is fine, he said. And then he asked his junior to take a pass over. I don't know what happened to that matter. Elderly gentleman came all the way to the bar council. It was a crowded bar council. I remember Mr. R. Krishnamurthy, former Advocate General and senior advocate, was at the head table. So was Bharat's father, the late Shri V.P. Rami, a doyen of the Madras bar himself. And the enrollment was moved. A few minutes to go before 4:15, I quickly went up to watch proceedings. And it was another blessing that Mr. Parashran Senior was arguing before, I think it was Justice Satyadev's bench. All that I could follow was that some matter from Pondicherry involving the question whether for the subject matter the Pondi law will apply or the everything else was going over my head. So as he came out, I quickly met him. I was, as usual, walking very fast. Took his blessings and took the train back to Coimbatore. So to come back here and to be, nice things to be said is really a dream. And I'm deeply overwhelmed to all of you who have taken your time. Honorable judges who have taken, tomorrow must be heavy board. I will keep it very short. Chief Justice for coming, the senior judges for coming, and all the members for having taken time. There's no doubt that hard work went into the career, like it goes into the career of several people. But I've always believed that for those who are prepared to work hard, there are some unexpected events that happen which guides you along the way. You call it destiny if you believe in it, because it could be controversial for some of us to say that, because we may be guardians of free speech, but our speech is the most restricted. Everything was ready in Coimbatore to practice. Even typing higher grade had been passed. at the Directorate of Technical Education, which was 45 words per minute. The lower grade was passed with 30 and 45. Idea was in the trial courts, if you could type your own blanks, you could save that money. But a chance meeting my father had with his brother at a family function and a chance discussion opened up avenues in July. I had not crossed beyond Bombay because some relatives were there and I had to go for a family meet. When this offer came to go and explore in Delhi, my attraction was that let us go and see. After all, father is paying for it. You have to only go. If you don't like, you can always come back. But somehow events took a turn. I joined the office of Mr. Viswanathan. I am keeping it very brief because the idea is not to. The point that I am making is along with your effort, there is a force operating. Call it whatever name, whichever place you belong. And that was one of the wonderful moments. We were 10 of us juniors. He had filings every day. He had work outside Supreme Court. So some of us juniors would be asked to look around the High Court and the CGAT work. There was a lot of tribunal work going on. And Supreme Court, because he would not be able to reach in all matters. So after 2 passovers, you could argue your own cases, and those cases, when you argue, it gives you confidence. All those individual clients is where you get your top time. What happens with corporate clients early on is they always engage a senior. So the individual clients which came to our lot gave a lot of chances to argue. So my appeal to youngsters is whenever you get a chance, even if you have to pray that the senior should not land up after the Passover, please pray. It gives you a chance to argue. I know it's the cost of the client, but many judges are considerate. That gave confidence, and it was again a chance encounter which landed me in the office of Mr. Viswanathan. The former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Arjun Singh, had a commission of inquiry appointed against him by the state of Madhya Pradesh pertaining to some aspects of income tax. The only point was that for a list 1 subject, it is only the union government which can appoint a commission of inquiry. For the list 2 subject or the list 3, if it is concurrent, it would be the state. So Mr. Viswanathan told me, Mr. Venugopal is going to Jabalpur, will you prepare a note for him? I am in Cochin. So whole of Saturday, there is only one book, Gupta's book on commissions of inquiry. Whole of it was read and all the judgments said what the section said. So one judgment which directly said what we wanted was in ILR Calcutta. Now Saturday, 2 o'clock the Supreme Court library closes. ILR is not there in all offices, so the clerk was quickly sent and that volume was available to photocopy it. That referred to another Supreme Court judgment, and that Supreme Court judgment was all put in a note and sent, and the next thing I hear is that Mr. Venugopal would be happy if I would join him. Now where do you explain all this? I mean, this is all, it's not just your effort, it is if you do கடுமையான முயற்சி மேற்கொண்டால் எதிர்பாராத பரிசுகள் காத்திருக்கின்றன. எந்த விதமான சந்தேகமும் இல்லை. அதை சொல்லத்தான் விரும்புகிறேன். கடுமையாக நான் உழைத்தேன், எனக்கு இந்த வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு என்று சொல்ல விரும்பவில்லை. அந்த நோட்டத்திலே எடுத்துக் கொள்ளாதீர்கள். All that I am trying to convey is that if you work hard, somewhere something opens up. So the message is, whatever is entrusted to you, and I take this liberty because I see a lot of younger people here, do it to the best of your ability. If a case has been entrusted to you, from out of the statistics given, 1,85,000 lawyers, 1,25,000 lawyers have enrolled, and 85,000 are active practice. That case has come to you, it has not gone to 84,999. So if you give your best effort and try and see if you can make a value addition to ஒரு புதிய கண்ணோட்டத்தை கொண்டு வர பாருங்க. அவ்வாறு நீங்கள் செய்வீர்களானால், அந்த முயற்சியை மேற்கொள்வீர்களானால் நிச்சயமாக முன்னேற வாய்ப்புள்ளது. எதற்காக கூறுகிறேன் என்றால், என்னால் இதை அடைய முடியும் என்றால் உங்களால் கண்டிப்பாக முடியும். The point that I want to emphasize is, if I can obtain this responsibility, I want to repeatedly reassure myself that I am not seeing this as an office or as a position or power. I want to see it as a responsibility. இதை ஒரு பொறுப்பாக கருத விரும்புகிறேன், பதவியாக நோக்க விரும்பவில்லை. அதை என்னிடத்திலே ஊர்ஜிதம் செய்து கொள்ள மேலும் மேலும் அதை எல்லா கூட்டங்களையும் சொல்லி வருகிறேன், இதுவரை நடந்த கூட்டங்களில். It is a responsibility and it will open up. Just as when you open a brief and read and read and read it, the mind gets liberated. Opportunities follow. Even the designation came along because by reflex of time, 20 years, you are all eligible to the reported judgments. The law officer's appointment was also a chance appointment on a 1-year balance tenure of the previous government. So the message I have already conveyed to you. So in the professional growth, be grateful to your seniors. I have been very fortunate in having Mr. Ramachandran at Coimbatore, the senior lawyer, Mr. Viswanathan, and Mr. Venugopal, who one is an elder brother, another is virtually, is a parental figure. Be grateful to them, take their guidance. Merely because you have become independent, it doesn't mean that the umbilical cord is severed. And what great seniors they were, Chief Justice. Mr. Venugopal's father, Mr. M.K. Nambiar, institutionalized the payment of stipend to juniors. Mr. Venugopal followed it. Every month, Mr. Viswanathan followed it. First of every month, we were assured of a check which was more than the subsistence allowance. And I would appeal to seniors, please take care of your juniors. I am sure most of you are taking care of, because there is no question of not paying a junior. I think that's a question of a self-respect of a senior. You could do one thing, which I have tried. You could incentivize the payment. If you think the monthly payment is a disincentive, it can lull this junior into complacency. You keep an amount in your mind. Since it is a bar council, I am taking the liberty of telling you. But see that is achieved on a brief-to-brief basis, so that he is also motivated to work. And juniors, please give your very best. Don't be complacent because the senior has assured you a stipend. Senior has kept you in the chamber because he wants a value addition to the brief. And that value addition will come only if you put that extra effort. There is no pleasure without pain. So when you undergo the process, certainly there is happiness which follows. I have no words to thank my parents, and I want to take this occasion to mention that a little elaborately under 2 minutes. My father was a prosecutor in the trial court at Pollachi, at Coimbatore, and after his retirement he came to Delhi because I was alone and roughing it out. As luck would have it, the Tamil Nadu government decided to have a standing counsel for criminal cases there, and he was appointed for criminal cases, and for those 5 years, large number of criminal appeals were disposed of. The Advocate General mentioned about his friendship with him. When I go to Pollachi and I was there, so many people came up to me and said that you are what you are because of your father's impeccable integrity. At the magisterial level, when he was prosecuting, he would conduct himself with dignity, integrity, and so many of his friends have come and told me this. eternally grateful to him. Sitting in Pollachi, his only ambition was to give us very good education. We were sent to the convent there and then to Sainik school at Amravanagar because in the 50-kilometer radius that was the best school there. And what to speak of our mothers. Please spare a thought. தாய்மார்களுக்காக சிந்தியுங்கள். அவரிடமிருந்து தான் நாம் ஒழுக்கத்தை கற்றுக்கொள்கிறோம். அவரிடத்திலிருந்து தான் இன்று டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் என்று கூறுகிறார்களே, காலத்தை எப்படி நாம் கவனிக்க வேண்டும் என்று அதையும் அவரிடத்தில் தான் நாம் கற்றுக்கொள்கிறோம். The mother's name never appears in the next day newspaper. Have you seen most of the mothers? Has any mother's name come in the next day newspaper? Have they worked only for a profile? Or that discipline is what is required. And we should all, I speak for all of you, that just as I have learned my discipline from my mother, all of you must have learned for it, and we must spare a thought for them and thank them, just as we thank our teachers. In Chennai on 15th March, we had a memorial for Ms. Sheila Cherian, my teacher at Sainik School. Chief, at Sainik School, we were in the 6th standard, drawn from different segments of society, in different shapes, our teeth protruding, in all kinds of shapes, different religions of course, but she cared for us like a mother, irrespective of which section of society we came from, which religion we came. She practiced secularism and fraternity in its fullest form and sense. Be ever grateful to your teachers. Be in touch with whoever is available. Give them a call. Give them a call on Diwali. Give them a call on Christmas. Their blessing is very important. It can be a professional guru. It can be a guru in your college days. It gives a special satisfaction. I started doing it very late. I was in touch with one or two of them, but now whenever I find, thanks to WhatsApp and other groups, we are in touch. Their blessings are very important, ladies and gentlemen. I also know words to thank my wife Jayashree, who has sacrificed everything, cost accountant, lawyer, and now a child books author. She willingly took a back seat, and I always felt that if our roles were reversed, she would have made a much better lawyer, but the home would have been utter chaos. My children Sukanya and Suvarna have been great source of encouragement, and so is my brother Mr. Narayan. Before I conclude, I just want to commend the Bar Council, because I had noted down in my proposed talk, a couple of days back, about suggesting to you continuing legal education, but I find you are already embarking on a course of it. Please keep it going. தொடர் கல்வி நமக்கு அவசியம். வழக்கறிஞராகிவிட்டோம், இனி நாம் அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டியது ஒன்றுமில்லை என்று நினைக்கவே வேண்டாம். Please do not be under any illusion. திவால் சட்டம், insolvency and bankruptcy code, goods and services tax, competition law, so many new branches of law are on the anvil. These would not have been taught to us in the law colleges, and I appeal to you, Mr. Amalraj and Mr. Prabhakaran, to focus on these courses, and now with video classes being available, even on payment basis. I think judges have judicial academy. I had suggested some time back, I don't know whether it is feasible, I will have to take it with the Chief Justice, whether there could be tie-ups with the judicial academy. But if not, Bar Council should take it up. Bar Council should have courses for continuing legal education. Even on nominal payment basis, you will find that people are willing to pay to learn these new subjects. Subjects which are not taught in law school, which are constantly evolving and developing. It will help the administration of justice in arriving at correct solution when the lawyers are able to. Placement is another important aspect, Mr. Amalraj. So as an amicus in the Bar Council matter, I had suggested, and that is recorded in the order, that let the Bar Council through the bar associations elicit willingness of seniors who are prepared to take juniors, elicit willingness of juniors who are prepared to work under seniors. Now the only question is, how do you compel a senior? You can't compel him. You can't compel a senior. But you can incentivize it. How do you incentivize it? So I've suggested to the court as an amicus that if willingness to take on juniors is made a criterion for designation, for empanelment in public sector undertakings, empanelment as law officers, or even consideration for judicial appointment, it will automatically incentivize a senior. Because ours is an unregulated sector. Juniors are joining by word of mouth. Whatever we may say, ultimately, if they know the concerned person, but lot of talent must be available in the movement, which must be going wasted because they don't have a senior to join. Please try this. Committees are working on it. Bar Council of India, Mr. Prabhakar is already working on it. You tell the Bar Association and make it a condition that only those seniors who show willingness to come in the list will be eligible to contest as office bearers of the association. See, you have to either incentivize it or sanction. That's only two ways of enforcing a matter. Please do this because there are a lot of youngsters who don't have way, and you will have exceptional talent. I know of friends who are in the office. I have no illusion that I am the brightest lawyer. I have had the opportunity. They have not, in the sense they are not able to move. Some of them have properties, some of them have other issues to look after. But some of them don't even get officers to join. So if you make this, and if a stipend is made, and you're already paying stipend to lawyers who are poor, I find, I've done some research on the website, it's a commendable thing. How can anybody work without, Mr. Hon'ble would not take a single work, even if somebody has to represent him in a property tax matter before the property tax officer, he will send an independent lawyer, he will not send his office juniors, and he will fuss over it and pay him the a highly disproportionate fee. Even if it is not to that extent, some payment for subsistence has to be made. It is gone are the days when you say that the junior is there to learn and not to earn. Where is the question? If he is sitting with a hungry stomach, thinking about where to go, there is no question about it. So follow the practice to the extent possible. It is also my suggestion to you that a monthly journal of the Bar Council of India, if it can come even at the State Bar Council level, the American bar associations have been doing it. So maybe with a strong editorial board, if you invite articles and you incentivize it with rewards of books, bare acts, people will write. There are brilliant people in the state. They just want an opportunity in a profession where you cannot advertise and where your reputation grows by word of mouth. What better way than to write an article in a journal on any topic? It need not be in English, it can be in Tamil. I remember at the Coimbatore bar, a very distinguished lawyer, Mr. Paradaswamy, would come for important cases, do it in a Tiruppu Thirattu Padichiya. Tiruppu Thirattu is the Tamil law journal. You read Tiruppu Thirattu. So you can write in Tamil. And that people will come to know. But you have to provide the platform because running a journal will take some time. And of course, you are already conducting seminars and coaching classes. You have to do it for the subjects which are catching up, and for those in the Mofussil, predominantly civil and criminal, periodic lectures, which you are already doing. But apart from law, two things I want to leave, and I will conclude it. I know that judges are here, I have to only travel back tomorrow. Profession has to be a holistic development. Without good health, it is not possible to carry on the profession. But that awareness has to be brought. I think you need not confine to the curriculum and syllabi. You can have a video class on good health and on financial investment. I found that somehow on knowledge of investments, for save for the rainy day. I want to make this appeal to the younger lawyers at the cost of being misunderstood. please live within your means. Do not be extravagant, because our profession is, we don't have social security. When I say we, I still consider myself as a lawyer. You have to have knowledge of investments, knowledge of mutual funds, knowledge of shares, and to the limit to which you should invest. You can take up and have these classes, so that this provident fund, to what extent you are entitled to claim deduction under Chapter 6. This knowledge must be imparted, because only then there will be an overall development, health, wealth also to the extent possible. At the same time, you should not lead an extravagant life, live beyond your means, live according. Please take it in the right spirit. It is in that spirit that I want to say. Now, of course, you are already doing legal aid camps. I won't want to labor that. But I am deeply, deeply overwhelmed by this gesture. We began here. I have now come back here. I promise you that this responsibility will be discharged to the best of my ability. Whatever ability I have, I will do it. And I wish you good luck. Wish you all the best. Thank you for taking so much time and coming. Nandri, vanakkam.